then we'll talk man to woman.
Okay.
If you're gonna feed me a line of shit, then I'm gonna leave for now.
That's fine.
And we're gonna take a break. Is that what you want me to do? You want me to come back and sit down and listen to you?
Yes.
And you're gonna tell me the truth?
Yes.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Okay. We went back over there in the car and we seen her carrying over there after we were listening to music, okay? We kind of had a weird feeling that something happened to the, but it was like, there's no way Jessica would do that, you know, we're thinking, so we just thought it was just her being stupid because we took a little bit too long, okay? So when we went in there, we were just kicking back, Jessica was like, kind of like blocking that area off, like Victoria's room and Matthew's room and that bathroom and like, you know, the couch, and like just kind of holding us at bay, like in the room, making it, I mean, kind of like, you're seeing like that, you know?
So after you guys came upstairs from sitting in the car and
Yeah, and so you seen her go up, yes.
her go up
yes.
with Veronica.
She kind of was holding that side of the house at bay, and like
Okay.
not letting us, like, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
And I kind of thought something of it, but I didn't think much of it, you know, I didn't think that anyways, you know what I mean? I
Okay.
thought she was just tweaking and fucking all stupid or some shit. And so I was just like, we talked a little bit more stuff, I don't know, and then she was talking about the TV and Jesus and this and that, and I kind of like, I was like, Jessica, stop her, lady, you know, it's done, it's old, quit. And so me and Michelle went to the bedroom and we laid down, okay? And we were just relaxing, we didn't get on down, we were just relaxing, me and Michelle, okay? Watching TV, just chilling, and we even done stuff, you know what I mean? Like that, you know, with each
Like
other.
had sex.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And so Jessica was like, the TV was getting louder and louder. I was like, dang, she has that TV loud. I remember saying something like that to her. She goes, yeah, I know. I was, you know what I mean? She had the TV real loud. And she never did those other nights, you know what I mean? And so we just didn't think nothing of it. And then all of a sudden, like, we were just, you know, we got tired. And we didn't even, well, she said, go ask Jessica if I could have a cigarette. That's after we had sex or whatever and did stuff, okay? And I went to the restroom. That's when I went to the restroom. Now I remember perfect, okay?
Which restroom?
Our restroom.
Okay.
And then that's when she asked me, go tell your cousin for a cigarette. And I was like, no, you, she'll know you.
You gotta speak up, I can't hear you.
She's like, go ask your cousin for a cigarette. And I said, no, you. She's like, no, you, just go ask her for a cigarette. So I went and asked her for a cigarette. When I went out there, Jessica kind of like came out of the patio like all weird, like I'm on the phone still, like I'm whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do you have a cigarette for her? And then she goes, they're on the floor right there. Get him. So I picked up the pack of cigarettes, grabbed one cigarette, and then I went to the room again, okay? Where the TV was on, where me and Michelle were laying down relaxing. And I gave her the cigarette. She said, you want to smoke a cigarette with me? I said, no, fine. I'm ready to buzz, I'm ready to go to bed, you know what I mean? Okay? So then Michelle went outside and smoked a cigarette with her. And to me, it kind of seemed like it didn't take as long as for her to smoke a cigarette like she usually does, you know?
You talking about Jess? Or Michelle?
Michelle.
Yeah.
And so she came back and she goes, yeah, I smoked it. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, whatever. She was done with her cigarette, and then we laid down. And, you know, turned off everything, you know what I mean? Because we turned the TV back on after, you know, after we went back to bed, after we went to bed, you know what I'm saying? Okay. After we went to bed, for the first time, we turned off the TV and went to bed. That's what happened. And it was weird because it felt like what's really going on? So after that, we woke back up. Oh, no. I was with the cigarette, okay? Remember I said with the cigarette? I'm trying to think. My mind's so, you know what I mean? Just let me think, because I'm going to get this right for us. I am. I'm going to figure this out. I don't know what they were trying to do to me or what the heck was going on, but just let me get this right. We went. Okay, I turned off the TV, and that's when we started doing stuff. And then after we did stuff, that's when she asked for a cigarette, you know what I mean? So that's when I got one. Okay, and after a cigarette, that's when we turned off the TV and then went to bed. Okay? That's when that happened, okay? But after we did that, you know what I mean? And then I went to the restroom, and then that's when she said, ask for a cigarette, and I went and got the cigarette, okay? All right. Then we shut the door, turned on the TV, and went to bed. Didn't think nothing of it, you know? And that was that, like, you know what I mean? So, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna make some tacos, you know, I'm hungry, let's make some tacos. And she's like, okay, let's just make something real quick right away. I said, because I know you're hungry and I'm hungry and we didn't eat all day and we've been drinking, you know what I mean? So that's what happened. And so, we went and we made taco stuff. Me and my baby Jessica didn't help at all for some reason. She was still being really weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of was looking, I was like, what the heck, you know? Still on the patio, you know what I mean? Whatever, not really coming into the conversation, just being weird.
Right.
Looking at the TV, yeah, just being really, really weird. And so, whatever, long story short, we ended up making the tacos. I made everybody's plate, okay? I gave Jessica hers. I gave her hers, and I gave mine mine. And then I got the dishes, rinsed them off, didn't use soap or nothing, just rinsed them off real quick and threw them in the dishwasher, okay? All right, and that was after I gave her plate. She went to the room right away and started eating hers, and that's when, after I rinsed off the plates real quick and wiped the counters off real quick, I went to the room with her, you know what I mean?
Which room?
Well, my room, mine and Michelle's, okay? And that's what I did about it. And so when I went in there, she was ready to eat her food, and I ate my food, and I only could eat one, you know, because I was drunk and I was drinking, and my stomach didn't handle it, you know? And I remember telling her too, it was kind of greasy, you know, it was greasy, you know, greasy tacos or whatever. So then I go and put my tacos away, and then she follows me, and she puts her tacos away, and Jessica's like there with her food, like almost done with one taco, because she asked for 3. And she said something, and I didn't really pay attention, you know, like I really didn't hear her, but she said something, and I was like, oh, well, did you eat? What's going on? You need to go to bed, you know, we're gonna go to bed now too.
Who are you talking about?
I told
Jess?
Jessica that, yeah.
Okay.
And she was like holding that little area off bait, you know,
Yeah.
still, and like not really wanting us to go that way, you know what I mean? Like, and so we went to bed, and then like 20 minutes, like not even 30 minutes, we didn't get to sleep that much, you know what I mean? But I was tired, so I remember just dozing off, okay? And that's when the door, like, I remember like her waking us up, and the door was like half open and half shut a little bit, and she was like standing, like I said, there's the bed, and she was standing right here. And that's when she woke us up and said, hey, where's your guys' phones at? And we were like, what? Where? So I went up to her, she was like, I got your phones, and I was like, what the hell? So, and like, I was barely waking up from like, you know what I mean, like 20 minute, almost 30 minute, like, you know.
Is this the same story that you've told me 5 million times, or are you gonna kind of start into the
No, I'm telling you the truth then, okay?
It's not gonna lead up to running out with the neighbors?
No, I'm just gonna tell
Okay.
you what happened. I'm telling you.
Making sure.
That was zero.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what happened. And she said that, so we were wondering why she was saying that. When we were opening our eyes, and we were trying to like wonder what the fuck's going on. Me and Michelle both, because we were laying there in the bed. And then that's when she goes, "You guys believe in God? You guys want to see a prayer?" And we're like, "What?" Like, when she said, "No, I asked you guys believe in God or not." You too, Fabian. And right when I was gonna say it, like she said it first before me.
Yeah.
And that's when she was like, "Yeah, Brett," she started, and then I was like, "Allah, Fabian, what the hell?" And I jumped up and I started trying to defend her.
Hang on, because we're getting to the real. Give him a minute.
Okay, and I started to try to defend her. Okay, and that's when we were all like, we were trying to get away. Michelle's trying to get away. I was trying to put Jessica off, and that's how we needed into the kitchen area. Okay, and then it wouldn't stop, and we were yelling real loud for just all to stop. Michelle was, you know, Jessica wasn't even really making a sound. It was just me and Michelle yelling like, "Hey, stop, Jessica, stop! Quit! What are you doing?" And then that's when I just kind of let go of Jessica a little bit and try to get the door, because she, you know what I mean, they kind of moved a little bit more towards up by the fridge. And then Jessica seen us, and she went to go, that's when she attacked me and got in front of the door. And she goes, "No, you better help me clean up this mess." I was like, "Okay."
Got in front of which door?
The front door. And that's when she told me, "You better help me clean up the blood." And we're like, "Okay, we will." And we're scared. I was like, "Okay, we will, Jessica, just stop, please." And we climbed, and she goes, "And sooner than ever, anyway, get this." She kept saying that little thing too, okay? And so we're like, "Okay, well, stop, just leave it, don't quit, just please stop." And we were hoping somebody would come over and knock or see what was going on. No one ever did. And so after that happened, we were like, she got down, Jessica did, and started using the sponge, the yellow sponge with the white top, and started like wiping up the blood. And no one else was helping her, like, because we said we were, but we didn't. And so she kind of got it like just up again and started attacking her again. And I was like, "Whoa, you know, what the hell is going on? You know, someone help, you know?" So that's when, like, well, again, we ran into that little thing right there, the glass things, because we were getting out of the kitchen. I was trying to pull, and Jessica was doing that, and it was scary, and you know what I mean. And then that's how Jessica ran to the room, and then she goes, "No, the baby, you know." And I was like, "Oh, Victoria, we're just gonna." So we ran, and she ran over there too, and so then I ran back with him, because I was trying to stay with Michelle, you know what I mean? So she wouldn't get hurt, you know, or whatever. And that's when she ran over there, Jessica just started going off, saying, like off on her again, and they established it, and then.
Inside of Victoria's bedroom?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I was like, get off, Jessica, stop, quit.
And where's Victoria right now?
I didn't, like I said, I didn't see her, but I thought, you know what I mean, she went right in here. Okay, and I thought I heard her, but I could have been tripping because, you know what I mean?
Dude, you're still telling me the fucked up story from before, and we know that you had some involvement in cutting Victoria. So either you did it. Go ahead, Josh, because I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Why would I?
I'm gonna ask you. You've lied to us from quite a bit of the story.
I'm telling you.
Hold on, no, you're not telling the truth. All right, you know why? You know why I know that? Because I talked to Michelle.
I understand.
Yeah. You don't understand. I guess you don't understand.
So she's trying to say I did this, but we were on each other's side.
Listen,
I was helping her. I was trying
we
to
were
help
on each
Michelle.
other's side. Yeah.
I was trying to help Michelle.
No, so this is the deal. All right. You can come clean, or you don't have to come clean. That's up to you. Okay. I don't have to. You know, I can walk out of here, and that's it. You know, I know she's telling the truth. You know, we've already talked to Jessica, and we know that you were involved in helping. But this is where it differs. Okay, Jessica said that you did participate, but that you participate at your own will. All right, on dismembering. Hold on, let me finish. Well, Michelle stated that you guys were threatened, and I believe.
Yes, we were threatened.
What happened? So listen, you need to be honest, because I know that you helped cut her up. No, stop. Stop. I know you helped cut her up, but I also know that you guys were threatened. All right?
I didn't help cut that little girl up. I didn't, but I seen it.
You need to be honest.
I seen Jessica do it, okay? But she threatened me with that I'm gonna get killed. Just like she's gonna kill Michelle. I seen Jessica do it, yes. I did. I'm just scared for retaliation.
Okay, so listen.
She's just out of prison. And I don't want her to come and threaten me and my family.
Well, listen, I know that she threatened to kill you, but I also know that she threatened to kill you to help her. Because she's not gonna go down with this by herself. Okay?
I didn't do that, though.
If you did and you were threatened, we can explain that. Because that's the thing. I already talked to Michelle. No, stop. You've already lied about a lot of stuff, and now you're admitting to this.
What I'm saying is I seen it happen. I just didn't want to admit it right away. But I didn't have no part of it. But yes, I did see it. And I got threatened with my life. Okay? I was scared. I didn't know if there was anyone else there or anyone else outside like Jessica was saying. Okay? But I did not help her do that. No.
Okay, and I also know that you guys weren't asleep when you guys got hit, and that whole thing didn't happen because, again,
we were laying down with the lights on, going to bed. We weren't all the way, like I was telling you, we weren't all the way into dead sleep. It was like 20, 30 minutes getting ready to where you know that you're tossing and turning, you're getting comfy. Okay? And that's when Jessica came and said that weird shit.
So listen, man. Again, I'm asking you to be honest. If you really were threatened, you know, if you were threatened to keep your mouth shut, I understand that. See, that's something we can explain.
I understand, but what I'm gonna try to say is I didn't do anything to that little girl or touch her, but I seen it. Okay? I seen Jessica doing it.
What did you see?
Her stabbing her, doing that, and fucking trying
Doing what? You need to be honest, man. Doing what? I'm giving you the opportunity.
stabbing at her and trying to see how to help, and also no, I didn't. But I seen her do it.
What did you see her do?
I seen her just stabbing at her and cutting at her, weird, like crazy.
Okay, show me on the piece of paper. Here, go ahead and sit down. I'm gonna give you a piece of paper.
Crazy, guys. This is
Show me, it's okay, but
I'm
this is important for
scared.
us to know, okay?
Listen, you gotta trust me. All right, I'm not here to blow smoke up your butt, dude.
Yeah.
This is a serious case.
I understand
No,
that.
you don't understand is you lied to me the first time I talked to you.
Because I was threatened, I was scared.
Okay, and we understand that, so
I was
here,
scared. I've never been
draw
through this
me-
before ever in my life.
Fabian, show me how the cuts were made and who did what cut. It's very important, okay? Because then we can figure out what involvement you had, what involvement you didn't have, and where you felt, threatened. And we know you're scared, okay? So that's why it's really important. And I know you've been through a lot, but this is important, okay?
I did see Jessica doing stuff in the room.
Okay, so you're in the bedroom, in Victoria's bedroom.
No, I just when I was stopping it, okay, I see Jessica doing
Okay, well, you went cuts like this or something, so
yeah,
show
like that,
me on.
like that, I'm going like
Okay,
real
so
hard.
a cut is different than a
And
stab?
like, boom, boom, and then like hard, you know what I mean? And that's what she was doing.
So were
Trying
you
to
in the
break
hall?
stuff. She was trying, yes.
Okay, so you're in the hall, and let me see your pen real quick. Okay, and is she laying on the bed? Is she on her back or on her
I
stomach?
think she was laying on the bed.
Is she on her back, face up, or face down?
I don't know if she was face up or face down, but I'm thinking, but I know she was on the bed.
Okay, so we know
Yes, okay.
that
I know.
you saw enough or
I
took
did
part
see it.
enough to describe the cuts and the limbs coming off.
I
So,
seen Jessica doing it and I was scared. I was screaming and
Doing
telling
what?
her stop.
okay,
Doing that to the little girl.
You need to be.
And Michelle, I'm telling you.
No, listen. You need to be descriptive.
yeah.
Okay. Jessica was just going off and like hitting the body, like going crazy, trying to like go, oh Jesus told me to do this, like say her things, like me and Michelle were yelling, Jessica, no, stop. And she wasn't listening, she was just doing it, but we didn't stop it because we were scared.
Okay, so how's it gonna look, right? When I have the evidence to show that you did participate in this, but how is it gonna show that you were lying about it, or if you just come clean and say, you know what, yeah, I did do this.
I didn't do that. I did not take part and do that. I didn't pick up nothing and do anything.
So why would we be told that?
I don't know, but I know Jessica did and I watched it. She threatened us. She threatened me and Child both. And said that we're gonna die tonight.
Really?
Okay,
Yes.
Okay,
Here-
do this.
here's Victoria's body. I drew a silhouette for you.
I don't.
So, and people do this all the time and show us, okay? Show me where Victoria was stabbed.
Oh, she was laying down, right? On her bed,
Okay.
okay? And then I was like, you know, and I seen Jessica doing, like, I guess, she was laying down, she was trying to fuck up Michelle too, at
Okay,
the same time. And Michelle was in there yelling, I know. And I was
Okay.
like, right there, and like, right there, stop, like, please, Jessica, stop. You know?
okay.
And she was, like, just stabbing at it, you know? Like, just,
Okay, so show me where the first stab goes.
I don't know, it was like probably right in the middle or somewhere, right?
Okay, so make a mark where that first stab went from Jessica.
This is all crazy.
You know
guys.
what? Let me tell you something,
But I'm
Fabian.
telling you, like her first stab was just like she walked up to her and she was like that. So maybe like right here, maybe.
Do it to the paper, just how she did it.
Like
Okay.
stabbing at her like that, and then just going bam, bam, and then bam, 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 like just in that same kind of area, but a little different.
So basically, according to your statement, she should have multiple stab wounds, correct?
Well, she should have like a lot of things wrong. You know,
You tell me what she should have wrong.
She should
Because
have.
you really listen, man. All right, she's gonna be examined tomorrow.
That's fine.
All right,
That's fine.
but your statement's not jiving because I've already seen her. I saw her. She's pretty messed up, and I know that you know what happened to her. So
Jessica did it. She was trying to. And then I got the iron from
tell
her.
us what she did.
And she was trying to use the iron to take off her leg.
The iron?
Yes. That's what it looked like to me. And she was using the knife, like, and she was just. It was crazy. Oh man.
A knife or the iron?
She had both, I think.
And where did that happen at?
She did that. I think she did that in the.
In the bathtub, right?
In the bathtub.
Yeah.
I was
Come
after.
on now.
Like this is after she went in and tried to. And I was trying to take her off Michelle and stuff. Okay. And the Victoria was in there on the bed, I guess, all whatever, just like out of it, whatever, because they were saying something about you guys that they never told me about. I was like, what? You know what I mean? This is crazy. And I was just, I'm not, like, to me, guys, this is very crazy. Okay.
You keep saying that.
And it's hard for me to explain because I would never do something like that. I didn't have no hate towards Michelle or.
Well, it's not about having hate. It's about covering it up because it was an obvious cover.
Yeah, not project, but I didn't see her actually move the body to the bath, but I remember her being in there and doing that, making sounds, and then we were trying to tell her stop.
Well, at what point did someone think it was a good idea so that you guys wouldn't get caught or it wouldn't have been known that this happened to cut her body up and get rid of it?
Jessica thought that idea.
Okay,
I
and
didn't help. She did that all on her own.
Okay, but I understand you guys were afraid and she threatened you, Fabian, right?
She threatened
So-
me, but I was scared.
So she made you
No, she didn't
help
make
her.
me. She didn't make me.
So then
I never
why-
do it by herself because I was scared. I didn't stop it.
Listen.
I didn't stop it though.
David, stop.
I didn't stop it.
Listen, you already admitted she asked you for help, and you said no. You're saying you said no, okay? But again, I've already talked to Michelle. All right, she even lied too. She said, "Oh, we had nothing to do with it," and then she finally came clean.
I didn't.
No, listen.
I didn't do that to the little girl. I'm telling you, I just didn't do nothing about it.
She
Okay?
said that it was done because of threats. I don't believe that you're a sick guy to do this. I don't
Oh,
believe that.
no.
No, yeah, exactly,
Oh, no.
dude. I don't think you would do that. But if your life was threatened,
I didn't
well,
do it.
listen to me, dude.
You did it.
Listen to me, man. If your life was threatened, I can.
Jessica ran back in there and started doing that in the bathroom to the little girl after the patio when my sock fell off. And I know it, and that's why I got so scared.
Your socks didn't fall off on the patio.
I had one sock.
No, you had both because I interviewed you and you said I had both socks and I took them off and put them in that trash.
No, Michelle had 2 white socks.
And you had 2 black socks, which are in the trash can. I have them.
I had one sock on.
You told me, come on, man.
I had one sock on.
Bro,
I'm telling you, when I got there, I had only one sock on.
well, listen, you know, we can go around this all day long. If you want to deny this,
I'm not denying it.
Well,
I'm
you
telling
are.
you. I
You
have
are
that.
denying.
I
You're
threw
denying.
my socks away when Michelle told me to throw them
I'm
away.
not talking
with her.
about, okay, you're denying your involvement, all right? And I already know.
I didn't do nothing though.
You helped. but
I
you-
didn't help. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I just didn't do nothing about it.
Michelle said,
Michelle said that you participated because you were threatened.
No, I
Yes.
didn't. I'll take it. No,
Michelle said that you cut an arm off.
Bull crap.
Come on, dude.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I swear I didn't. There's no way.
See, we're gonna be able to tell with the physical evidence,
Okay,
Fabian.
okay.
And so here's the thing. When we can tell by the physical evidence and then your story, you deny something and it
Because I was
doesn't match
scared,
up,
okay?
I get
and
it.
we get that.
But I didn't do it. I just didn't do nothing about it.
Listen, what I'm saying is we went around for almost 2 hours with her, same thing. I didn't do it, I didn't do it.
I didn't do
Listen,
it
and
though.
then
I
Sit
didn't.
down, sit down.
I just didn't do nothing about it.
I know, but listen, she opened up. She made it make sense. And it makes sense that she threatened to kill you. She threatened you, both of you.
Both of
your
us.
lives, yes.
And she was trying to kill both of us.
Hold on. Right. Because something went wrong about disposing her. There was question about getting rid of her, and something went wrong, and that's why you guys got beat up. All right. So listen. Hold on. Let me finish, man.
Oh, I didn't know.
Let me
this.
finish,
She
dude.
woke us up.
Let me finish, man. All right. Michelle's already admitted, she's willing to go the distance as far,
I'm not gonna go down for this when I didn't do it. I was
Well,
just scared
yeah.
and I didn't do nothing about it. That's the only thing I'm guilty of. Is I didn't do nothing about it. And I got threatened with my life, okay?
yeah. So you realize that we have her arms.
Okay.
Okay, we have her body.
That's fine.
All right.
That's
Is
fine.
there any reason why your DNA, because you realize that if I do this, my DNA is there. If I touch somebody's arm, my DNA is there. Is there any reason why your DNA would be on our arms? Because
You're saying my DNA's unarmed?
I'm saying, is there any reason why it would be? I'm not saying
No,
it is.
no, sir. No. I promise I just didn't do nothing about it. I was scared. I'm telling you. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. I just didn't do nothing about it. I was very scared, okay?
Because you realize I can just take a swab.
Yes, go ahead. You guys already did, too.
No, I'm saying of her.
Yeah.
Check her out. And so your DNA will not end up on her at all.
No.
Nowhere on her arms. Because you're thinking, you're like, oh, it's impossible.
No. That's because it's crazy. No.
All right, well, how did she get, and when I say she, how did Victoria get from her bedroom into the
Jessica.
bathroom? She didn't do it all by herself.
Yes, she did.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, she did. Yes, she did.
So what did she do?
She grabbed her and told us to be quiet and fucking, or we're gonna get killed because something's wrong with her, and don't worry, she's gonna make it right, and it's just gonna be alright. You know what I mean? Just like saying weird shit, really scary shit. And then that's when she started doing that, and I didn't do nothing about it. I was scared. I was frozen, so scared.
So what does she do? What does she do with the body parts? I know you know what she did with them. So tell me what she did.
I don't know what she did. I just
Yeah,
know.
you do. You know what she did with them. You know where she put them. Come on.
Well, she said, all right, I'm gonna put him in the bag. And I was like, whoa, you know what the hell? I guess. So.
And you know where she put the bag.
I left.
Come on, dude. No, you didn't leave. We have witnesses. We know that. We know you were there.
I don't know where she put exactly the bags. I just know she just did that. I know she
So
did.
she put what? What did she do?
I don't know what she was doing in there. It's scary. That's crazy to even think about. I didn't do it, but I know she was in there doing that.
Did you ever touch the bags?
No,
So your DNA won't be on the bags?
no.
You're positive?
Positive.
Well, no.
I'm positive.
So where did she put the bags?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't know where she put the bags. But I know her saying about something that she's gonna put it through the bag. And I said, what are you? This is crazy.
Where'd she get the bags from?
I don't know where she got them from.
And what did she say about burning the body?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't remember about Brent, but I just remember her just scaring the shit out of me. And I'm still.
Can you tell me the threat that she? How did she threaten you, man? What did she say?
They're coming for you two. You're gonna die too, and all you guys are gonna die. Everybody in here.
What did she say specifically about that incident? How did she threaten you about that? About staying quiet for that incident? What did she
You
say?
better stay quiet too, cause I'm killing everybody, and you're gonna probably get to be able to stay alive a little longer. I was like, what?
Did you take that as a legitimate threat?
Well, yeah. I didn't know what to. Come on, man.
Why? Tell me why you took it as a legitimate threat.
Because when she was actually doing that shit to Michelle and the little girl, how could you do that? She could do that to me too, and she was. I got hit a couple times too, trying to stop it. And yelling, I was yelling at the top of my lungs, stop, Jessica, please, no. I know, and my DNA will not be on that or that. I know it won't. I just was scared, okay? I was very scared, all right? I couldn't believe what I was seeing, all right?
Okay, so let me ask you this, because again, she's willing to go the distance.
That's
Is
fine.
it possible she could have misconstrued you holding the arm while she was cutting with maybe you helping Jessica take Victoria from the bed to the bathroom? Because we know, listen, we know that you were there.
I was
listen,
there.
Hold on, like I told Michelle,
But I didn't help Jessica do that.
Listen, like I told
Jessica
Michelle.
did it by herself, all this by herself. And I was scared, I was in shock. And as she was doing these things, maybe like doing that, whatever the hell she was doing,
What was she doing?
when she took the little girl to the bathroom and stuff, I was like back there, like, do you want to see, do you want to watch? I was scared, and I was like, please, Jessica, stop, please, let us out, they're gonna fucking stop, please.
What do you think Jessica's gonna say about your involvement?
About me?
Yeah. What do you think she's gonna say?
I don't care what she says.
Well,
All I know.
you better care because we have Michelle saying that you helped dismember her and that you were threatened.
No, I didn't help do that. Michelle must have had too much. There's no way.
Michelle must have had too much what?
Blood in her face or something like that. There's no way I did that, guys. Please don't blame me for that. Don't. I did not have nothing to do with that. I was just trying to stop everything and yell and help, and was super scared.
So you were yelling and helping.
I was
Yeah.
saying, please stop, Jessica, no, quit, stop. And she kept doing the back and forth, like chasing me, chasing her, trying to get the little girl and fuck her. It was scary, man.
Did Jessica do anything to Victoria before you saw her cutting her up?
We don't know. That's why me and her were trying to talk over there at that one house, 407. Me and her were trying to say, I wonder if she did that. When she walked down the stairs, if she already had done something to the baby. I was like, I don't know, babe. I don't know. Hopefully she did. I'm pretty sure, you know. And it was just.
So we know that you saw what she did with the body parts, and you know. I know that you know where she put the body parts.
She knows because she stayed there.
No, I'm asking you, dude. What did you see Jessica do with the body parts?
I didn't get to see that. I just know that she was.
You saw what she did with them.
I was already at the neighbors.
No, you weren't. You weren't at the neighbors because I know.
Yes, I was. I just know that that's what she did, and she threatened everybody.
Well, just prior to that, you said, well, I think she put them in a bag. So how would you have known that If you know what I'm saying? You're all over the place. You just lied.
Because you guys got done telling me that,
I
okay?
didn't tell you that. I never said anything like that. I asked you what happened to the body parts, and you said you mentioned that.
She mentioned it.
Who did?
Jessica, and I didn't believe it. I thought this is the, come on, man.
How do you expect me to feel? You've already lied to me once.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
How do you expect me to
Because you
believe
guys,
you?
you guys are trying to put me in something that I know I didn't do. I was there, and I seen it, and I tried the best I can. But I didn't have nothing to do with it. And you could check the arms or whatever the hell you said with the DNA thing.
Okay, well, what reason does your girlfriend have to say that you were involved in this?
Because she thinks that, because it's my cousin, so she thinks that I wasn't. I'm so sorry for her. Like I said, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this. I'm telling you the truth. I just was scared, okay? I needed to get out right away. I let it happen, and I didn't say it for it to happen. I didn't know it was gonna happen, but I was scared for my life too, okay? And that's why finally I got away. Threw the thing over the thing because I wanted her going off and hitting and going off on.
Fabian,
And
listen
I
to
really got
me.
help, man.
Okay, listen to me.
If I was guilty, why would I go get out?
Listen to me. If you care at all about what happened to
I do.
Victoria,
I do
listen to me.
care.
Listen to me. If you honestly give a shit, if you care about what happened to that little girl, and I want you to think in your mind about Victoria, about what that innocent little girl went through, okay? Listen to me. You think about her, I know she's not your daughter, but she's an innocent little girl.
Of course I'm. What do you mean?
Listen to me, listen.
I didn't do it though.
Then you need to stop thinking, poor me, poor me.
I understand.
Tell us what happened, everything, and let us figure out, what your part was. And if
didn't have
you're,
no part in it.
listen, this is what I'm saying.
But I seen it.
Okay, and you're not telling us everything because her arms are fucking missing. And her leg is missing, and she's been fucking butchered. And I know you saw everything and you can describe
Yes,
it.
Jessica
So,
did it.
listen to me.
I told you.
Jessica did it. Jessica did it.
She did.
You were fucking there.
She was
Listen to
hacking
me. Listen to me. You were there, and I know you had part in the physical part of it
Well, I was
with her
pulling
arms
Jessica.
cutting
I
off.
was pulling Jessica. I did not
So,
pull the little guy.
It needs to be explained because she couldn't do all that fucking fucked up shit herself.
You should see.
And if I believe she threatened you, and I believe you
her
were
strength was
scared.
real crazy.
Okay, so listen to
It
me.
was weird.
Well, man up, because right now you're fucking lying about some of this
I-
shit. So if you give a shit about that little girl,
I do, ma'am.
innocent little girl laying there dead, and then people are fucking hacking off her arms and legs, then you need to man up, get a set, and tell us what happened. And don't worry about what happens to you, because you know what? Ultimately, we're gonna respect you for telling the truth.
Jessica did it. Okay.
Okay, at what point were you pulling her off?
I wasn't. Oh, at the point when I was pulling Jessica off.
Yeah, what was she doing to Victoria?
That was after she was doing that thing.
That was when she was.
Well, no, yeah.
That was when she was starting to hack on her, right?
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, Jessica, get off. Get the fuck off.
See right there?
Okay?
No, hold on. Stop.
And what I'm saying is she started that in the room, okay?
Yeah, I know, and listen, you've already admitted to being there when she was hacking her arms and stuff like that.
But I didn't really
Listen.
think that was really going on, you know what I
So
mean?
you need to be honest, because now you put yourself there, you can't retract it, and Michelle
was right there too, trying to help.
Michelle saw you holding an arm. This is the deal. Michelle saw you holding an arm and you cutting off, and she was.
That's crazy, guys.
It's not.
You guys ain't gonna blame me for that. I'm telling you, Jessica did it, and I was trying to get her away.
I believe she did it, but she asked you for help, and
No,
she threatened you to help.
I didn't help her. I said no still. I was still yelling and fucking trying to get help and trying to protect Michelle still and fucking everything at once. I did not help Jessica do a single thing.
Did you hold Victoria's arm?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Because you know
ma'am.
we can get fingerprints off his skin.
That's fine. No, ma'am.
Did you listen? All right. Because we know what was used to cut her.
Okay.
All right.
And I didn't know exactly what knife she had, but I know she was using the iron too. I'm lucky I got the iron away. Okay? And that was, like, it was scary.
It doesn't make sense to me. Why she was.
It still makes sense to me. me why you guys are sitting here saying that I did this.
Why she would say that you assisted, even because.
Why would she say that?
I don't know.
That's fucked up.
Well, she said you were threatened.
That doesn't mean that I fucking did it. I still didn't do it. I was yelling and trying to help and, like I said, defuse and mediate it the best I could, even though it was...
What was Michelle doing during this time?
Michelle? She was fucking getting attacked too, and fucking just sitting there like, oh no, and I was like,
I'm saying when Jessica was starting to hack, like you described, hack
yes,
Victoria.
she was hacking at both of them.
What?
She was hacking at Michelle and
Like he's talking about waving the knife, like.
yeah, and
She swung the knife on Michelle too?
She was, yeah, and hitting her with the fucking iron.
Why didn't she ever mention that? She didn't mention that to me. She didn't say that at all.
She was swinging at shit. I did not.
Dude,
you guys are sitting here saying that I blacked out and I don't know what I'm talking about.
I didn't say that at all.
So basically, you guys are trying to say that I don't remember what I did. I remember.
No, we didn't say you don't remember anything.
I remember real good.
What I'm saying to you is Michelle never mentioned that. Michelle straight up said that
I didn't help
after
her.
she died, that Jessica did start doing this stuff, but that you assisted. She never said that Jessica threatened her with a knife or anything like that. And that's pretty big if that really occurred. But that didn't happen because I know it didn't happen, but Michelle didn't mention that.
Well, then why is Michelle mentioning saying I helped her? I was running for my own life. I left them alone a lot of different times. Trying to watch out and trying to get away.
Watch out for
and
what?
getting-
What do you mean?
For Jessica going off on me and Michelle and the whole house.
Okay,
follow
so
me
you were
up.
so afraid. Why didn't you leave and call the police?
I tried to get out the front door. It was my first attempt. All this happened real fast, okay? And she got in the way and was going crazy, okay? Okay, so after that, like I said,
Was this before or after she hacked her up?
this was before.
Before.
Yes, the fight. And then I tried to get out the front door and call for help. But Jessica said, like, no, you're not. You're like, you better not help me clean this up. And I was like, what the fuck, Jessica? No way.
She told you better help me clean this up?
Me and Michelle, she said.
Okay. And when she said clean this up, what does that mean?
With the blood. The blood.
The blood from what?
Blood from Michelle or whatever.
Okay.
Or it could have been, like I said, from the little girl. Or it could, well, I don't think so because blood came from Michelle. Because Jessica was going at her sick right there. You know what I mean?
And you're talking about in the kitchen. No?
Yes. And you could see how her face busting while Jessica was, you know what I mean? While I was trying to play, you know what I mean? It was crazy. I was like, please, and I was yelling on top of my young, Michelle was, and we're like, Jessica, no.
And there was no blood in the bedroom, right? The master bedroom? See, and that's what I was telling you. He went to the scene and there's no blood in the bed where you claim.
I walked in there. And
That's where Jessica started hitting
Hold
her.
on. Yeah, I know, but I even talked to Michelle about it.
But Michelle ran out right away. Because that's where she struck Michelle first. Did Michelle tell you that? In the bed?
Oh yeah, she said she got hit in the bed and then she started bleeding profusely all over her clothes and I said,
Yes, so I thought she got some on the bed.
there's no blood in there.
Okay, well, she got on her clothes. I misunderstood, guys. I'm sorry about that, okay? But I know she was bleeding. Maybe she didn't get out of bed, but I know she was bleeding, okay? She tried to run out. I was trying to stop Jessica, and Jessica was trying to hit me, and this is all, you know what I mean? This went on for a good while, all around the house, okay?
So we're very clear about what happened in the bedroom, what happened in the kitchen. The only thing you're not being very clear about is the part where
What happened
you
with
guys
the-
are in Victoria's bedroom. Because you're claiming, oh, I didn't see this, and I was in the hallway.
I
But then
see
you're like, oh, I
Jessica
saw.
is going off like crazy, and
So at
I don't know
what
if she was
point?
grabbing like Victoria at the same time and then keeping Michelle like that because I was like trying my hardest and yelling. But I just remember
Alright.
Jessica just doing this. And
So
like,
at
like,
what point did Victoria's arms end up off of her body?
That I don't know. I don't know when she did that. I know that she took her to the bathroom, and I was like,
How did she take her to the bathroom?
I didn't see that. Michelle said that she took her to the bathroom.
Where were
Because
you?
that's when I asked Michelle, I said, where did you get her? She goes, no, hell no. She goes, she took her, she killed her. I was like, what?
Do you think her story believable?
I don't, you got, why, how is her story believable in my name?
Because where were you then? So you see the.
I was,
you
this
see
whole
her-
time I was fighting Jessica off, trying to do this, okay?
Right.
I didn't see the little girl, but you guys are getting me scared, saying, if I don't admit that, then I'm automatically
Well, wait a
guilty.
minute. Sit down. Listen to me.
Okay.
Hang on, Josh. Because a lot
That's
going on
what's
here.
going on now.
Sit down. Listen. You said that you saw Fabian, or I'm sorry, Fabian. You said you saw Victoria laying on the bed, right?
Well, that's where Jessica put her, from up the stairs. And
You said that you saw her on the bed because you made these stab marks describing what Jess was doing, how she was stabbing Victoria.
Yeah, because she had to have been stabbing Victoria too, because Michelle was right there, and she was going
So
at
you
both of
saw
them.
that. You saw Jess stab
That's why I said I didn't know
Victoria.
exactly where, but I know she was
Okay.
stabbing at both of them.
So stay focused on this. Listen to me and look at me. Focus on me. Okay?
I'm
Take a
really
deep
scared.
breath. Calm down. We're gonna slow down. I want you to just focus on me. Okay? Because you're really distracted and there's a lot going on.
Okay.
So you see Jess stabbing Victoria. And then you say at some point that you see Jess take Victoria into the bathroom, right?
Well,
So-
I think Michelle yelled that out.
Where were you?
I was, where was I?
Yeah,
When she took her to the bathroom?
yeah.
I think I was still trying to find her. I don't, see,
Well,
that's why I'm trying to
because-
tell you, I don't remember.
No,
You gotta
Fabian,
go to the
listen to me. No,
bathroom.
stop
Honestly.
looking at him. Look at me. Focus on me. I know you're scared and you're leaving it out for a reason. And it's okay, I know this blackout shit we're not blacking out, that didn't happen.
Well, that's
Listen
why
to me.
I'm telling you what happened.
Listen to me. You need to explain to me where you were because you're leaving it out.
That's why I'm saying I think she did this when I took off. Okay.
You can't.
And then like 5-10 minutes later, that's when what's her name came running out the front door, and I was like, this. I told myself this to the Indian guy. I said, how in the hell did she get out now? But then when I left her there, hurry to come get help.
So-
if she couldn't even fight her off by herself, but I was trying to help her.
Why
This
does
is what I thought,
Michelle?
okay? And then Michelle came out, and she was like, oh.
Yeah. Okay, we know that part.
And then
So
I
now-
told her, come here, babe, come here. And she goes, where are you, babe?
Yeah,
And
listen.
she ran to me. So we stayed there for a good.
Fabian,
Let's
listen to me.
focus,
We know all
focus.
that crap.
This is
Listen.
when I think Jessica did this.
Okay. But Michelle is saying that you were holding Victoria's arms while Jess cut her arm off.
No.
So after you
I
see,
think-
so
if she
where
said
do
that, I
you
think she did
go?
that. Because I was
do-
gone. I'm the one who
So-
called the police.
So while she's being stabbed, while Victoria's being stabbed, right?
Yeah, well, she was doing that to both of them. Because Victoria was on the bed, I think she was doing that to both of them.
And you were in the hallway and you see her getting
No,
stabbed.
not in the
and where you
hallway.
go?
I was like halfway a little bit through the door trying to pull Jessica, and she made me. I was trying to, and I fell, and I tried to grab her legs, and I was trying to pull,
Uh-huh.
and she was still here.
You're at this point. I'm sorry. You're in Victoria's room trying to pull her on.
Yes,
So I've been inside the room.
I was trying to pull
And
Jessica.
her bed's along the west wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where was Victoria laying on the bed?
Here's your diagram.
Well, Victoria had to have been on because she was on. Victoria can't just disappear, okay? So she had to have been on the bed, okay?
Okay,
I'm
and you
telling you.
said where was Jessica doing that?
When
Was she over the
okay,
bed?
that's the bed. She was laying right there. Jessica, there's the whatever Victoria, and then Michelle's right there, and I'm like way right here trying to put Jessica, and she's getting shot right at that. And I'm like, I was screaming and yelling, please stop, please stop.
Well, there's no bed on the bed for that to occur.
Well then,
So listen, that's what I'm saying. Some of your stuff's still just.
okay, well then, what I'm saying is that's what I seen when I was at that time in that room. And I thought that was going on because she was doing that. Yes, she was. In that motion, she was. And I was trying to pull her off. And I finally got her a little bit halfway out, right? And we kind of went to the hallway towards the living room. And she, and I struggled. She hit me again, Jessica, and I don't know what Michelle was doing. I think she was just in shock, whatever. And that's when I finally.
Was Victoria alive when this was happening?
I don't think so because, like I said, she never came out and asked for tacos when we were making tacos. Remember when I told you guys? And usually, like, she gets up and says something, and I didn't see the kid either. Didn't notice my cat, the cat I got for the kids. I don't know where the cat went either. So this is why I was thinking we should have checked more when Jessica came downstairs holding her. We should have checked right away and seen what the hell, why did she so patient, why did she turn around? And then when I told her, come here, and she didn't listen, she went up there. And me and, I don't know why, what's her name, Michelle, didn't want to check, but I didn't think nothing of it, and I should have, as a parent myself, okay? I should have, okay? But I didn't check, because I thought it was okay. Because Jessica said, oh, she's asleep. And so, oh, yeah, she's asleep, but leave sleeping. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't think nothing of it, okay? And then we sat there for a little bit, into the room, me and, what's her name, Michelle, just talking about shit and this and that. Jessica was in the living room, all by herself, with the TV blasting, okay? And she was just, spent a lot of time in the patio.
Yeah, this is after.
No, this is like when we pulled up in the car and we listened to a couple songs and we see Jessica come back down and then back up, okay? Right? And then this is why I said I should have checked myself as being a parent, but Michelle didn't check either because Jessica said I laid her down. She was tired. That's what she said. Okay? And so we left it, okay? I went to the room, got my weed, smoked like 2 tokes of the weed, okay? Because I was tired, you know what I mean? And I was buzzed, you know what I mean? I had a pretty good buzz. And then I set my pipe right on the little thing right there on top of the windowsill, okay? And so after I did that, I went back in there and I was all, you know, just chilling and we were kicking back and then all of a sudden, like I told her, we ended up doing stuff together, right? Okay, and after that, then that's when she asked for a cigarette. So she said, I'll go get a cigarette from your cousin. And that's all this whole time Jessica was in there all by herself, just not like really talking to us or doing nothing. And I kept telling her, check on Jessica, is she okay? Oh, she says she's okay, she says she's fine. I was like, you sure? She goes, she's still on the patio. I was like, hey, okay. So then, you know, that was after I got the cigarette from Jessica. When Jessica just threw the cigarettes at me like that, and I said, get one. I was like, really? So I grabbed one and handed it to Michelle right away. And that's when Michelle went out there and smoked a cigarette with her. And that's when she moved back to the room. That's when I asked what I just told you. Did you ask her what was wrong? What's going on with her? Like, she's acting really weird, I said. But I didn't think nothing of it. Telling you, honest to God truth, okay? When I should have in the beginning, when it looked weird, when she came down the stairs and upstairs, when I told her to come here and she didn't listen to me.
So it's the honest to God truth you're telling me?
Yes. Yes, sir. I promise.
You promise you praying or what?
I'm promising to you that I'm telling you the truth, okay? And that's, okay? And then after that, we were in the room, and we went to bed, okay? That's after I took a pee, and then she asked for a cigarette, remember? Like you were saying, why'd you, whatever, pee in the bathroom? That was our bathroom. After we did stuff together, I went in his restroom, okay? And then she asked for a cigarette to get from my cousin. So I went and got it from my cousin, gave it to her. She went and smoked a cigarette, and I said it seemed kind of longer, it seemed kind of quicker than usual, right? And I told you. And she came back, and blah, 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 she smoked. I was like, you smoked a cigarette already? So yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay. So we laid back down, and then that's when I just turned the TV off, you know, we're laying there, just tossing and turning, and just like getting ready to go to bed now, and just like laying there, getting ready to fall asleep, okay? Well, anyways, like I remember just dozing off. I remember like laying down, and I remember like, okay, you know, dozing off. But then I remember like it only being like 20 or 30 minutes because Jessica, when she said she had got to give us our phones, it was only been about 20 or 30 minutes. So I was like, oh, we haven't been asleep this long. You know what I mean? Okay? And that's when she said, all right, you're gonna say a prayer. You're right, do you believe in God? And I was like, what? And then right when she said that, like I was getting ready to say yeah, whatever, and that's when Michelle said this. Oh yeah, you know, and then she goes, all right, you're first. And she started just wailing on her with an iron.
All right. You want to take a break, man?
I just have one question real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you guys gonna take the body? Cause, I know you were gonna dispose of it eventually. You were gonna put it in Michelle's car. Where were you guys gonna take it?
I don't even remember. That's something I don't remember. I didn't do that.
It was discussed. I know you didn't do it because she's still there, but
Right.
it was discussed. Okay. And again, we know you were threatened, but you need to be
But I
honest.
didn't have, okay, I'm gonna tell you, this is how I'm thinking. What happened? I left off the balcony and I had to jump off, okay? Alright? This is what I remember, okay? And there's no way I don't remember like you're saying, I know. After I fought Jessica off, and finally got to the back and she was trying to stop me. And she was trying to push me over at first and I was like, Jessica, please stop, whatever. And I grabbed it. I ended up grabbing the arm from her and I threw it. And she got mad and she was like, why the fuck did you do that? And then she ran back that way to go fuck with Michelle again, huh?
Right.
And that's when I said, oh, this is my time to go.
And you what?
I jumped right off the balcony.
So let me ask you this. why are you saying that you jumped off the balcony when we know that you actually walked out of the front door? We have witnesses that saw you walk out of the front door with Michelle, and Michelle said the same thing. She's like, oh, he didn't jump off the balcony.
Yes.
Listen, man. We're giving you an opportunity, dude. Little things like this, when you lie about it, it looks bad.
I remember because I dropped down and caught myself like that, boom, and that's why I was too scared to run back in, and Jessica ran back that way because I was too scared of her still doing that to me. And I was being a little bitch, and I was scared. I wanted to hurry up and get help. I never ran back that way and went down the front door. I swear.
And she also admitted that you guys did discuss on disposing the body using the car. Okay, so listen, you need to be honest. I understand that you stated that you were threatened, and if that's the case, then fine, but you need to be truthful.
I'm being truthful, guys.
You're totally distancing yourself completely from this whole thing.
I jumped off I ran off the balcony.
You're not.
I jumped off
I'm talking about the disposing of the body and all that stuff.
Listen, after the balcony, I went straight over there and I ran up to the neighbor to the top because I thought that was her friend because she has a friend with glasses, okay? And I really don't know her friend that good, but I thought that was her house, but I guess she was on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I mistaked it. And I went up there and I was like, hey, help, whatever. Did whatever I did. She was not that she wanted to help, so I waited. Oh, and I went to 407 and did the same thing. The guys, they helped.
Yeah. So this is the deal, man. We're going to take a break, but I'm going to tell you straight up. You know, whether you want to tell me the truth or not, we know what happened. Listen, we know what happened. I'm giving you the
I didn't
stop.
Jessica
Let me
did
finish. Let me finish. I need to be able to explain to the DA's office exactly what happened. All right? And if I don't hear the truth from you, then they're going to get what we have as physical evidence, and they're going to get 2 people's statements rather than 3. All right? I'm giving you the opportunity.
2 people's statements.
I'm giving you the opportunity to just explain yourself.
Is this really happening?
Yeah, it is. We're here. We're talking. This is a homicide investigation.
Go ahead and just, I just put that I drew the silhouette. Go ahead and sign and date that for me, okay?
What I'm saying is, I never knew Jessica had to cut her up and do none of that stuff. To tell you the truth, right now.
Does this mean you're lying before?
Let me tell you the truth right now.
Okay.
I never seen that happen.
Seen what?
I never seen what Michelle was saying, her saying that she seen Jessica take her to the bathroom, okay?
All right.
And cut her body up or do all that weird shit, okay? I didn't see that. I was over there at 407.
You said you did see it because you said you described using the iron.
Well, yeah, Jessica was,
This is the deal.
And that was inside the room though. That was inside the room
I'm
though.
done with you right now. I'm giving you an opportunity one last time to tell me what really happened. If not, then I'm gonna leave, and then I'm gonna do what I have to do. Okay. But you need to be honest. You're not being honest.
I didn't see that. All I know, well, because I don't know if you guys are setting me up.
I have no reason to.
Like I'm scared.
I want the freaking truth. That's what I want. Is I want the truth.
Okay, but
you got it from Michelle. You're not telling me the truth. You're lying about certain things because you don't want to get in trouble.
I don't mind. Okay, I know I didn't, but I know I was there.
That's the deal. You don't want to get in trouble, but you need to tell me the truth. I'm sure there are ways to explain certain things, but you don't want to get in trouble. That's your problem. You're like, crap, if I say this, I'm going to get in trouble. You need to stop worrying about that.
What I'm saying is I did jump off the balcony. I did.
Don't worry about the little girl who's got her limbs cut off.
I am worried about her, but listen, how come you guys ain't believing me, please?
Because you're leaving stuff out.
I'm not screwing with you, dude.
You're
This
worried
is a
about
homicide
yourself.
Okay,
investigation.
what am I leaving out though? Please, guys, you guys need to help me too.
No, I'm not going to do that. We've been trying to help you out the whole time.
I understand that, but I know Jessica did this.
Oh, I believe
But
that.
we know that
We
too.
know that you participated. She's already explaining that you did, but that there was threats made. You're denying
I didn't. No, I'm saying Jessica did it all by herself. Okay.
Okay. Well, we have physical evidence that will match
You've
things
already,
up
you've
too,
already
so-
lied.
What I'm saying is
You've already
Jessica.
lied several times, man.
Okay, listen, sign and date this for me, we'll take a break, I'll get you some food.
I can't
think you
do
need
that.
to take a break,
Someone's setting me up now.
and let me get you food,
There's no way.
okay?
There's no way. You guys gotta know, man. Come on. You guys gotta know the real truth, man. But you guys can't be saying that that's me just automatically just because she says that. I know what I was in my right mind, guys. I didn't do no drugs. You get it?
Well, like she said, I have no reason to set you up, man. I'm just doing my
Okay,
job. I'm
but-
just getting the.
Right, it's June, or I'm sorry, it's not
August
June.
24th.
It's August 24th, 2016.
But what I'm saying is,
And it's now 6:08 p.m. Put 6:08 p.m. on there.
I didn't have nothing to
Alright,
do.
so let's
I
take a
didn't
break.
touch that little girl at all.
This is the deal. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to sit on it. All right. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to think about telling me the real truth. And when I come in here, that's what I expect.
Okay.
I expect. Hold on, listen. I'm not gonna go around with you all night, dude. I'm not.
So if you find out that my DNA's not on that little girl, so will you believe me?
It depends.
Please. I'm not on the bags. Will you believe me, please? Please.
All right, let's take a break. And I just wrote that I did the diagram here, the silhouette, and the slash marks by Fabian is the stabbing marks to indicate that you did that one, okay?
I'm gonna give you an opportunity to think about what we're talking about.
Okay, but
All right, I'll be back shortly.
but listen, can you?
No, you listen to me. You listen to me.
I will. I will.
You need to tell me the truth. I'm not
Okay.
screwing around.
I understand, but what I'm
Alright.
saying is, if you don't find my DNA on that little girl or the bags, then will you believe me?
No. We got a lot of physical evidence and a lot of different stories put together. It's not that simple.
So you're not gonna
So,
believe me
well-
when I know I didn't do that, even if you don't find, like I'm
There's a
saying.
lot of pieces
I'm
of the
not trying-
puzzle, okay?
Think about
So-
it. We'll be back. I want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around with you anymore, dude. I'm leaving the ball on your court, dude. Okay?
Crazy as fuck, man. Oh, it's fucking crazy, bro. Can't even fucking blame me, bro. What the fuck's going on? No. I can't believe they fucking did this to me, bro. What the fuck? That's crazy. I've never done anything like that in my life. Bro, there's no way. This is fucking crazy, man. Oh no. Really? I can't believe this shit, man. fucking do that. That's dumber than fuck, man. No, you guys cannot do this to me. I know I didn't do that. I know I didn't fucking do that, bro. Fuck this. This is a setup, man. This is a fucking setup, bro. I didn't fucking do that, bro. That's fucking way wrong, bro. Why would someone say that about me, man? You can't be blaming me for this shit. This is fucked up, man. I'm fighting this shit, bro. Fuck that. I'm fighting this all the way. Fuck this, bro. I cannot go fucking down with this. Hey, I'll
Put your hands up, put your hands up.
Oh, I was gonna say, they told me to come ask if I was.
Okay, sit down, sit down.
Okay, fine. That's why I opened it so slow, that's why they just said just open it if I wanted to talk.
Okay, what's up?
Can I talk to someone different, please?
Okay.
Other than them two?
I'm different.
Okay. Can I talk to you alone,
Yeah,
please? Without, like, them?
yeah.
Okay, you're gonna be cool though, right?
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
need to cuff you to the thing.
No, no,
Okay,
not.
okay, you just don't,
Exactly.
anything crazy happening,
Okay.
okay?
You know everything that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I tell you exactly what happened from back when we did it? And you see if it sounds right?
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm being set up for someone else's same line on something that they did when I was gone. The neighbors calling for help. Okay. This is what I really think, honestly.
Okay.
Okay. We got there. We just went to my brother.
Okay, who's we?
Me and Michelle. After we told them we'd be right back. Okay. Going to my brother's. I didn't tell them where we went for, but we went to a little bowl. Okay. And then we came back, and I didn't tell her I was there or yellow, but I told her.
Okay,
I smell it. Whatever.
I don't do well with hers and hims. Her, is this her,
Michelle.
the police detective, or her Michelle, or her?
No, Michelle. Michelle said, told the detective that I threatened her like that. No, I threatened her. But we just bought some meat from my brother. You know, we're never supposed to talk about it because, you know, you can get hurt. That's what I told her. I didn't say I would do everything, but, you know, I just told her that. And she goes, oh, okay, I won't say it. I said, yeah. But anyways, I was just letting you know what we did and where we were going, okay? And then we went back home. Okay, we went up. We were listening to music at first. We listened to about 4 songs, jamming out. And then all of a sudden we look up and Jessica's coming down with Victoria, okay?
Okay.
And then I was like getting ready to tar cover, like I said, hey, come here, what are you doing? What the heck is going on? And to see what was going on with Victoria, okay? And to see why she was even carrying her, okay?
How do you know it's Victoria?
Because I could see her. I seen it. I knew it was her.
Okay, you have to understand
Yeah.
that you've done nothing but lie for what time is
I
it?
know, but I'm not lying. I was
Okay.
scared at first, okay?
Okay, but time out.
And you got-
Look, time out, man. If I'm gonna do you a favor and give you a fresh face and listen to your story, then do me a favor and listen to what I'm telling you, because this is the reality from my end, okay? I am the police, okay? And all I've done is listen to lies, okay? So, how do I know? I don't know if she's wrapped in a blanket. I don't know if she's carrying her. I don't know what to, and at this point you've almost lost credibility. Like you could tell us what, I'm telling you right now what's at stake, okay? Because I'm quite frankly tired of listening to your story and her story in the next room, okay?
That's why I asked you.
Okay, so time out. I'm telling you this, okay? Because obviously sitting here and trying to talk to you in a normal fashion is getting nowhere. So what's going on right now is Michelle is signed a criminal complaint for you for murder, tampering, and all this stuff, okay?
On me?
Yeah, on you. And your cousin at the hospital right now, she's gonna go down too, okay? That's what's going on in this room right behind you, okay? This whole big picture is being painted, okay? When this whole thing started off, okay, you started telling us all this crap, okay? And we're trying to figure out what's going on. We're presenting you with what we know, and it's not matching up because you're actually there doing this, and you know that this doesn't match up with what we have. But as the hours have rolled on, okay, the knives are starting to get found, okay? She's finally had enough. She's finally starting, for whatever reason, to realize that that's her daughter that's in pieces. And
That's
okay, so listen.
I have daughters myself. I've never been in something like that. I've never done that.
Not saying you have. Obviously, if you had, you wouldn't be sitting here. I'm telling you, this is the reality, okay?
Okay.
She has just provided a statement that's corroborated by evidence that's putting you in jail tonight. You're going to MDC on murder, okay?
What?
Yeah, buddy. How's that sound?
Me? I didn't do
Yes,
it.
you.
I didn't do it.
Okay, that's what she's saying. That's what you get for sitting here and lying to us for 7 hours.
So I'm going to tell something I didn't do?
Something you did.
No, I didn't. I'll
did.
take a lie detector test, please.
Okay, well that'll come down later down the line. Tonight, right now, you're going to jail for murder, okay?
So how are you getting blamed for this when it was Jessica?
How did we know that? All you've done is lie. All you do is you say this. I ran to the neighbors. This. I ran to the
I
neighbors.
know, but
This. I ran to the neighbors. She's actually in there telling us that you did this. This happened. You were here. You were there, and stuff is matching up.
Well, you didn't have to let me talk yet.
Okay. I'm going to afford you that opportunity. Did I not tell you? Hey, I'm not in here to. I'm sick of listening to you.
I understand,
Okay?
but-
I'm tired of it, man. You're more full of shit than a cow pasture.
The thing is how are you guys gonna believe her and not me?
Because all you're doing is lying. She's telling us stuff that matches up with what the physical evidence that's already presented itself over back at the apartment that you guys are at. Okay.
Okay.
You will sit here and you'll say this thing, and then you fast forward 6 hours to, oh no, I ran over to the neighbor's house, and then. I'm telling you.
I know, but
You're-
can I tell you though?
Yeah,
Or I was-
okay. Fire away,
Jessica
buddy.
came down the stairs. We seen her. We finally seen her when we were listening to music, okay? And she asked if she was in a blanket. I said, yeah, she was in a blue and white blanket. Jessica went upstairs. I called her over to the car. She didn't want to listen to me. So then we kind of looked at each other all weird, me and Michelle. And so we got out the car, got the stuff, and got out of the car and went upstairs.
What stuff?
The phones, okay? And the drink, and we went upstairs. And the little weed that I just got, okay? We went upstairs. Okay, so we went upstairs and we were just kicking back, okay, and she said that she put Victoria in her room. That she
Okay, once again, what-
Jessica said.
Okay.
Jessica told Michelle, oh, I put her back in her room, because she said, where's Michelle? She said, I put her back in her room, she said.
Okay.
And so that's what happened. So we didn't think nothing of it. We thought, okay, well, it's already around 8, around her bedtime, so we leave her asleep, okay? So then we go into our room, okay? And we're just doing our own things, watching TV, laying down, you know what I mean? And then that's when I packed a bowl. I smoked, I took 2 tokes and that was it. And then I went back and laid down and we were talking and we were watching TV and we were just, just conversating, watching TV. And then we ended up doing something, like I said, like, sexual, me and her. And then after that,
Who's that, Michelle?
yes.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to the bathroom and used the bathroom. And that's when I went back to the bed and she said, can you go get a cigarette for my cousin? Okay. So I said, well, you. And she goes, you go get it. I don't want to go get it. So I went and asked Jessica for a cigarette. She goes, they're right there on the floor. So I said, okay. I grabbed one and I went right away and took it to Michelle.
And where's Jessica?
Jessica's on the patio.
Okay.
After telling me they're right there, And so I went and took it to Michelle. Okay. And she smoked it with Jessica outside because she don't smoke inside. And I didn't want to smoke a cigarette, so I stayed inside the room, okay? I was inside the room and she kind of took a lot, quicker than she usually does, okay? Took a cigarette and I was like, yeah, that was kind of quick. You already done? She goes, yeah, I'm done.
Who did, Michelle?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, did you tell my cousin what's been wrong? Why is she acting like that? Why is she kind of shady and what's been going on? You know what I mean? And let it be known is that we didn't check on the baby right away neither because we didn't think that, this would happen because there was never no confrontation or Victoria saying anything bad about Jessica when they were around when she watched, okay? So that's why I didn't check, okay? Her being a mother should have done it. I mean, yeah, I should have done it too, but her being her mother should have done it no matter what, okay? That's what I was thinking. But she didn't. She said she's fine. So I was like, all right, cool. So then after that, I turn on the TV, we go to bed. Okay, we're getting ready to go to bed. Then I said, no, you know what, I'm hungry, my stomach's hurting, I'm just gonna, aren't you? You need to eat too, you haven't ate all day, and we've been drinking all day. So she goes, yeah, so we start making tacos, and she helps me, okay? I cut the potatoes with that one knife, and I do the meat, and I tell her to help me watch it, and this and that, while I'm in there on the phone on Facebook, okay? And so she helps me get all the stuff prepared to make it and all that, and I make them tacos. I mean, Jessica, I taught Jessica, she comes, I said, yeah, she said, yeah. So she comes in from the patio, and that's when she said, yeah, I made her 3 tacos, okay? And then I made hers 2 tacos with sour cream, because we were talking, she was helping me, And so I made her tacos, and then when I made her tacos, Jessica went and got hers, and she was eating right there, watching TV fine, but kind of looking at us weird, I noticed that, you know what I mean? And I still wasn't thinking nothing, I just thought she was tripping from the other day when she was talking stuff about the TV's all messed up, and they were looking for her, and blah, 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 weird stuff, okay?
Okay.
And so then I just rinse off I make my 2 tacos, I rinse off all the dishes, I don't wash them, I don't use soap or nothing, I just rinse them off and put them in the dishwasher, okay? And then I walked to the room where Michelle went, you know what I mean, when I made her tacos, which is about 2-minute difference, because it didn't take me long to make my tacos, and rinse off the dishes and put it in there. So then after that, we're in there, we eat, you know what I mean, I only eat one of mine, and then I was like, I can only eat one, so I went to go put mine in the fridge, she goes, oh yeah, me too. So she did the same thing as me, kind of weird, whatever. And so after that, then we go back to the room, and then that's when we try Jessica, we're going to bed. She goes, oh, all right, whatever, no. And the TV was, then she turned it up real loud. And I said, John, TV's loud, huh? She goes, yeah. I was like, we started turning it up, but we never did. So then we just turned off, you know what I mean, our TV, and then we were laying down. This is exactly how I remember everything, okay, in my head, no lie.
Okay, I listen, I think at this point this is what you've convinced yourself of, but that's
No.
complete bullshit.
Please, can you listen? Just please listen to me, please.
No.
I don't work, okay? We were getting ready to lay down, and I was tossing and turning, we were almost asleep, you know what I mean? We were like almost, you know how like you're all in that, we're coming in and out of going to
Get
sleep.
to the point.
Okay? Then that's when Jessica comes in, and like says, hey, give me you guys' phones. So I was scared because the way she was acting. So I gave her my phone, like I handed it to her, like all scared, no, and then Michelle did the same thing. And so we handed her our phone, and she goes, all right now, you guys believe in God, you guys sit here for your, and you too, baby. And I was like, what the heck, what's Jessica? I said, and this is what I said, you're stupid. I said, of course I believe in God. And after she asked Michelle one more time, and Michelle said yes, okay? And then she goes, all right, you're first. And just started wailing on her with that damn iron thing.
Is there anybody else gonna come in and talk to him?
Okay? Listen, when she did that, I got so scared and I was trying to help, okay?
Sit down.
I was trying to help get her off and they say, stop, yelling at the top of my lungs, and Michelle was too. Jessica, stop.
Fabian,
Is anybody else coming in here?
this is your last opportunity.
I understand.
Okay, listen
But
to
I'm
me
just
real
telling you
quick.
exactly.
No, you're not. I'm about 5 seconds away from
Okay.
putting you back in the holding cell and wrapping this up because I've got a family to get home to.
Okay.
She's got a family to get home to. There's about 15 other fucking detectives here that have families to get home to, and criminal complaints still have to be typed and everything for you. Okay, it's done. That story's crap.
Well, what I'm saying is I
No,
was trying to help protect
no,
her.
it's not.
You know, Jessica
No.
was going off on me
No.
and
No.
Michelle.
No.
Fabian, you cannot go back on what you're telling us right now.
Well, I was
Listen.
scared though.
Okay, listen to me real quick.
Here's
I was scared. I really was. I didn't know. I was like, what? I
Scared
kind of thought you
of
guys were
what?
like setting me up, like saying that
Setting
this is
you
the
up?
way it's gonna. I was like,
Do
this
you
is
think we want to come out to these kind of
no,
calls?
hell no. You think
So
I
why would we
think
set
I want to be
somebody
accused
up
of
for
this kind of
this?
stuff?
So you need to be honest, or guess who's getting charged with a homicide?
you. I already told you.
All right.
That story is crap. There's like I don't know what I wish I could get inside your head so I can
Yeah, I
figure out
understand.
where you're at because
But do you guys
This is-
believe when she woke us
yeah,
up, right? Okay.
no,
When
I
Jessica
don't.
woke us up.
I
right?
don't.
Not after we've already spoke with Michelle. No.
But she opened the door and said that weird stuff, and we were on the bed when she did this, Jessica. We weren't asleep, but we had everything off, okay? And that's when Jessica went in there and said that.
I could give a crap less about that.
I know.
What I'm
That's when she
concerned.
started doing-
I know you know I don't care about that because you know what that's already after the fact of what you're being charged. We're not charging you with being beat over the head with an iron allegedly. We're investigating the death of a 10-year-old girl.
I know, but I think Jessica did this.
Oh,
when we left,
okay.
was what I'm saying. I think she was already gone, and we should have checked, okay?
Why are you so concerned about when Jessica comes in and hits you with the iron? How about this little girl? How about her? Let's talk about that.
What's that?
That's the important part. You getting hit over the head with an iron?
No, not me. Michelle. I'm the one that, like, she started hitting Michelle, and I was like trying to protect her.
Listen, we don't care
Okay.
about that.
All right.
That's what we're trying
You
to
want
tell
to figure out what happened with that little girl?
I want-
We want to know.
Jessica did it.
She's
Okay.
not the only one. There were multiple weapons used. There was a large scene. We don't come over here and talk to you without having all this stuff ahead of time.
Because here's the deal too, Fabian.
That's easy.
If I sit down here 7 hours ago, okay? One, where did you meet her on? Find a fish?
POF. I told you guys the truth.
No, I understand that. I'm asking, what is the name of the thing?
POF.
What's that?
That's the POF dating site.
POF.
Plenty of fish.
What is it?
Oh, plenty of fish, plenty of fish. Okay, I know that's a damn
Yeah.
fish in there. Okay? I meet a girl on Plenty of Fish. Let me ask you something. Man to man, she can put earmuffs on. Does she even fucking mean anything to you?
Well, we liked each other.
No, okay, the answer is no. Because
But
if
I
she,
liked
because
her,
if,
yeah,
because
I
if she
liked her,
did,
yeah, I did like her. I
okay, you
still
did,
do.
you did, okay.
I still-
Okay, you like her, but does she mean anything to you? You've known her for a
I'm
month.
not in love with her, but I love her everything that she's been doing for me and helping me.
So you're using her?
No.
You like the fact that you have a roof over your head, the fact that you have ingredients to cook tacos for, the fact that you
I helped her though, I
can...
helped cleaning and I was gonna look for a job
Okay,
and,
I'm
I
not
was-
saying-
and I helped her fix her
Okay.
car and I do different things, you know.
The bottom line is you're using her and she doesn't mean anything to you, okay?
Yeah.
So if I'm you and I just met somebody on Find a Fish, okay? I'm gonna come in this room, I'm gonna say, yo, I got nothing to do with this.
I asked her.
She killed her daughter. This is how it went down. Get me the fuck out of this building. But what have you done for 7 hours? You told us, I don't even know how many stories, man. And none of it makes sense. And the one story we're hearing does make sense. And that's what's landing you in NBC tonight, my man.
So I get bit, Jessica and her dog.
I already told you Jessica's getting charged too.
But what I'm saying is,
What you're saying is a lie.
well, where's the physical evidence? I'm trying to,
That stuff comes down the line, man. What do you think we're gonna let everybody walk away from here and be like, okay, cool, we'll call you when all the DNA comes back and all the fingerprints are registered? No, we operate off of probable
I know, and I'm
cause.
not worried about that. I want that to come back so you guys can actually see this. This is why I'm even trying to
Okay,
tell you
but
guys.
she's also giving us statements that match up with what's going on. You're not. Your statement's complete crap.
Well, what statement is matching up that you guys don't figure out?
That's for me to know.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is, I was trying to help the whole time.
No, you're not.
And pull her off, okay? Jessica, I was trying my best.
Pull her off what?
Pull her off Michelle. She was trying to fucking kill Michelle.
Who cares about that?
Michelle's alive. You're alive. Jessica's alive. Victoria is not, and that's what we want to
You
talk
keep
about.
deflecting and trying to
Yeah,
stir the
but I-
pot up to all this stuff that doesn't matter.
I wanna know when Jessica did that. I wanna know when did she do that so I can tell you what happened and where I was.
What?
When did Jessica do this or whatever?
Don't worry, don't
No
worry.
one ever told me nothing like that. So I was thinking,
And
I think it was okay. That's why I didn't check on Victoria at first. So I don't know if she was killed before we got there or after, okay? I don't know this because I wasn't there.
And that's your story and you're sticking to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just to let you know, Michelle is telling us a lot of things.
Okay. But that's
No, no,
why didn't she tell me right away that she thought it was me when she ran to me over there at the
Listen to
neighbors
me.
when I went to go call for help?
Listen to me. Stop talking about after. We're gonna talk about what happened before and what happened during. Because if we're not gonna talk about this, we are walking out of here and you're going to jail for a homicide. So you decide, do you wanna tell us what happened before and during? Or do you want us to walk out of here and be done with you? You decide. Because I have a child that is that exact age. And if I was that woman sitting next door, I would roll on you like you
Like she is.
okay?
I wouldn't
So
mind.
guess what
I wouldn't.
she's doing right now? She's telling us about the meth that you guys used. She's telling us about your guys' plan and the plan you guys made up after the fact. So you have two choices. You either tell us the truth now and talk about what happened before and during the homicide of this little girl, or we're done. That's it, plain and simple.
This is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to us too, man. And I'm tired of listening to your...
But you guys are blaming me. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was threatened. I was scared for my life. I didn't touch the little girl. But I knew Jessica did it, okay? I was
How do you know Jessica did it?
Because she said that's what she did.
Okay, then tell us about that. That's what we're asking. I don't
Okay.
give a fuck about an iron or anything else or
Jessica
cigarettes.
said that she has a plan to kill Michelle and everybody and her kids. This and that. Like,
When does this conversation take place?
She said that when she was like all out of it. You know what I mean? When she
No, I don't know what you mean.
when she got after she started first. You know what I mean? And when she said that help her clean up the blood right there by the kitchen.
Okay, time out. Time out. Okay.
And she said yes.
Fabian. Time out.
And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Fabian, look at me. Time out. We're gonna start fresh, okay? What day, let's start with the day. Is this all yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, what time?
This this all started and looked weird ever since we pulled up, like when we were listening to music before we went upstairs, okay, which was about like, let's see, what is it?
So this is after Victoria is over at the neighbor's house and their mom's texting Michelle saying, I got your kid.
Oh, that was on, well, that's, we were still at my uncle's, me and Michelle, okay?
So you're at your uncle's when you start getting
Yes.
those texts from the neighbor lady?
Yes, because Jessica wasn't answering, so that's why we hauled butt over there. We hauled butt back to the house, okay? By the time we got there, like 2 minutes before we pulled in, Jessica called and said, oh, I got your daughter, she's fine. We're like, well, what the hell? Why didn't you go?
She
pick her up?
calls
Why
her-
did she have to go to the neighbor?
she calls her
You said you were
text.
gonna go to the damn text. You said you were gonna go to the freaking bus stop and pick her up.
So who Jessica texts your phone or Jessica texts Michelle's phone?
Michelle and Jessica.
Are texting this?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Okay, and so.
So now you're rolling up from your brothers or uncles or wherever?
No, uncles, okay.
Uncles, okay.
And we stay there and we're just there and just kicking back or whatever, alright? And see, before that I went to U-Pull, okay? We went to U-Pull and I took a shower, I got dressed and we went to U-Pull and I fixed the window, okay? And then that's when we left again and went to my uncle's,
Okay.
okay?
What
And then
happens when
after
you
my
get to the
uncle's-
apartment complex?
Jessica was there with the little girl and she was cool, everything was cool, it was like nice, she didn't say anything about Jessica acting weird but we kind of figured Jessica was, but we thought she was just being depressed, okay? And so Victoria didn't say nothing either, so we were like, alright, she's fine. And then Victoria was like, oh, I was like, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna get a little vodka bottle, okay? Because we just got done having fireball on uncles and stuff like that, having a good time. And when I was gonna go, I was like, I'm gonna take Victoria with me, I said, because she's against go with me. I said, poor thing, my cousin had to at the down bus stop, you know, and she had to go to her friends or whatever. She goes, oh, cool. And she goes, really? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take you with me. And I bought her a Coke, told her to pick whatever she wanted, you know what I mean? Because they were trying to tell Victoria, lie and say that this is your money, Victoria. And I said, no, Victoria's not gonna have that much money. So I told her, you know what? I said, you guys get out of here. You and Jessica get out of here. I said, Victoria, who told you to do this and say this? She said, Jessica. I said, well, why would your mom agree with that anyways and think that? She should have said, you know, be straight up so we could have fucking got mad at Jessica and kicked her out right away. Okay? And so,
Wait, you lost me on this.
I know, but this is how I
No,
got.
no, don't say, yeah, I know, because this is, you're working for me right now, okay?
Okay.
So explain to me this money thing. This makes no sense.
Jessica because Jessica left money in the bathroom when I
Okay.
went to the bathroom to use the restroom one of the times, okay?
And this is all after you get home from drinking Fireball and you pull it and
Yes,
the
yes,
text messages
yes,
of
yes, and that's how we went to the store, the Giant. That's why I took Victoria to the store because I took $20 from that money.
And what
'Cause
giant?
I said,
What giant?
the one.
The Paradise and Golf Course? Because that's the closest
Yes,
giant to
yes.
right
And there's
there.
a golf course right next, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys
Yes,
physically
me and
go
her.
inside, you will be on video
Yep.
at what time?
Like say 5 or 6.
5 or 6 on video going in and purchasing whatever.
Yep.
Just you and her.
Just me and her.
Okay. So Michelle,
And Jessica were at the house. Okay, but before we left, they tried to make her lie and say that that was her money. I said, I know that's not the money because Jessica had that money and she tried giving it to you this morning, just like she tried giving me that meth and that pipe when I was trying to find a shirt in my drawer. And I gave it right back to her. And Jessica offered me a line and she goes, did you do one? And I said, no, I didn't do one. I just was like, you know what I mean, I'm cool with it. So Jessica said at one time too, at one point, ask your girlfriend if she wants a line. And I said, she won't. I know she's not going to, she won't. So I did.
a line of meth.
Yes, and so I said, I told you she won't, and so she goes, cool, and I didn't do one either, okay? I gave it right back, Jessica took it back, okay?
Okay.
And then the money part thing, whatever, before we left, that's when they told the little girl to lie, and I said, come here, Victoria, don't be scared. Why did they tell you this? She goes, I want to know who told you this, your mom or Jessica? I said, she said, Jessica told me. I said, well, why would your mom say that? She goes, I don't know. I said, well, now I'm going to take $20 from them. Just for the night, and we're gonna go buy whatever you want at the Giant. And that's what I did. I got me a vodka, and I got her a Coke.
Okay.
Okay? Then we go back. Okay? And so we're there, whatever, and then this is when I decide, you know what I mean, to go, like after like an hour or two, whatever, to go to my brother's and get a bowl, because I was getting pretty buzzed, whatever, okay? With the vodka, and it was like going still that full, like because there's the pine that was still a little bit that full, much, and so we went to my brother's and get a bowl. I didn't
Who's
want
we?
Me and Michelle, and Victoria stays with Jessica, okay? And nothing else happened other than she was a little bit late at the bus stop, that's what we were thinking, and she went, you know what I mean? So we ended up leaving her there again with Jessica, okay?
Good.
And that's when we go to my brother's and get a bowl, and that's when I got a bowl, she said I smiled, and I said, shut up, don't ever talk about saying that I got a bowl and saying that my brother's sells and blah blah, you know what I mean? So you don't get in trouble, because you know what happens to people like that. I said, and that's exactly what I said. And she goes, oh, okay, and I said, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But whatever. So we go back home, and that's when I said, when we got there, we were listening to a little bit more drums, okay? This is the music part, and this is when we see Jessica coming down with the little girl.
Okay.
With the blue and white blanket, okay?
That's not a little girl, it's Victoria.
Victoria, yes, okay. And she was like, oh, we're like holding her like that, like weird, but it looked kind of like she was sleeping for real. Like Jessica made it look like that. It really looked like that, you know. So when we got that, I was like, hey, what's come here? She said, Jessica, hey, what's going on? What the hell? I said, and she just like ignored it. And I was like, what? You know. And then me and her looked at each other. Yeah, we better. You know, we stayed there for like a while. Like we didn't even go up there. We listened to like 2 or 3 more songs. And then when we went up there, that's when Victoria.
Wait. You were doing good, but keep in mind, we've already spoke to neighbors. So
That's
we
fine.
know
That's fine.
you followed her up there. We know you did.
Me and
You guys turned the music off.
Me and Michelle. Yeah.
Right away. You didn't wait a while.
Not listen to 3 or 4 more songs.
Oh, okay. Well then, I just,
okay.
no. What I'm saying is, I thought we stayed there and finished listening to one of the songs. You know what I mean? I could have sworn we did. You know what I mean? Maybe we didn't. Okay. But we weren't right behind her. I know that for sure.
Fabian, let me ask you this. How many lies do we need to catch you in before
I'm
you're
telling you the real truth now,
Because
guys.
guess what Michelle just told us?
What?
You, Michelle, Jessica, and Victoria all did meth together, so you and Jessica could rape that little girl.
What?
And Michelle watched you have sex with her daughter.
But no, that's crazy, guys.
So we are getting a warrant to swab your penis.
That's fine. That's
I'm
way
te-
crazy.
Okay, so listen, if that is so crazy,
That's
and people are
stupid.
saying this, why don't you tell us the truth? Because they don't care about you.
I know they don't. That's
So
not
then
what.
start telling us
She's
the
also going to be checked out at the medical investigator, so if you've spit on it, done something, banged out Michelle, did whatever you did to, and you're comfortable with the fact that there's not a DNA mix down there, there's absolutely no reason that a 10-year-old girl should even have any vaginal damage, period.
Of course.
Yeah. So she's going to get checked down there too.
Oh, that's
These are the
fine.
things being said about you. So maybe you need to stop protecting whoever you're protecting and tell us the truth.
Okay.
Because we've already caught you in one too many lies.
I understand it. I'm telling you guys not everything. That's why it sounds
No,
like-
you're not.
I mean, no.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is we weren't right behind her when we went upstairs, okay? We ended up getting our stuff. It took us about 2 minutes, but Jessica's already inside already, okay? But we walked right up right after. Yes, we did.
Okay,
Okay? All right?
so exactly what happens when you follow her up the stairs and she's got that little girl in a blanket? Tell me from that point on.
Jessica takes her to the room,
Okay,
and she says she's asleep, and we didn't think nothing of it. We didn't say nothing. Me or Michelle didn't say nothing.
why would you not say something if you yelled at her when she's coming down the stairs? I don't believe that for a second. And that is her mom.
Because Michelle asked, she's like, where'd you put her? And she goes, oh,
You have 2 daughters, right?
yes, but this is what
No. I don't.
She's sleeping still. I just laid her down, and so that's what happened.
If you roll up to your house and you see me walking out holding one of your daughters, you're gonna take my word that she's sleeping?
But I thought Jessica was just being a bitch and just ignoring.
No.
That's what we both thought.
None of that makes any damn sense to anybody.
They don't make sense to me either. But I'm just telling you the honest to God exactly what happened, okay? And then after that, that's when I was telling you that we sat there and we just chilled and we went to the room, we were watching TV, and I ended up smoking a bowl. I only took 2 tokes of it.
I don't care if you smoke
I understand,
a
but
pound.
you want to figure out how that happened to that little girl? Yes, me too, okay? I do too, okay? I know I didn't black out. I wasn't high, okay? But I was buzzed. But I know I wasn't that buzzed to be doing some shit like that, okay?
Look, you are so upset.
Because
I
that's...
can see that. You are the
That
kind of
is
person that
crazy.
feels bad for what happened, okay?
Yes, I do feel bad, but it wasn't me. It
You
wasn't
were
me.
involved. And listen, there's a huge difference between looking at a felony murder or a first-degree murder as opposed to maybe something like, you know what, shit went wrong, we made a poor decision. You're either looking at life in prison as a child killer and possibly a child rapist,
And
or
mutilator.
Or, you know what, shit went wrong. We fucked up, we made a bad decision, and you know what? I'm gonna be a man, I'm gonna be honest about it, and I might get 3 to 5 years. They're huge difference. So you decide what's best for you because they don't care about you. She's been dating you a month. Do you think she cares about you?
She
I
don't.
thought she did.
Okay,
Well, you're a fool.
You're wrong. Listen to me, Fabian. I can see it in your eyes.
I thought she cared.
She is telling us that you were very involved in this. We, from the evidence we have, we know that you guys were all involved in this. And a jury's gonna sit there and see this interview, okay? And they're going to know you're lying.
For 7 hours.
It's because I'm
And the-
scared and
It doesn't matter. Listen, I'm so tired of hearing how
why
scared
would she
you are.
say that about me? Why? That's what I'm worried. I'm so
Because
worried
she
about that.
doesn't, listen,
She doesn't. You mean shit to
care.
her. You met her on an
Yeah,
online
that's-
fish tank.
And I admitted it right away. I'm the one that said that how we met.
Exactly,
When I
that's
talked
what I'm
out from the
saying.
beginning.
I
You
know
don't mean
you're
crap to her.
scared for what's going to happen to you, okay? Imagine how scared that little girl was. You can be her voice. You can spend 5 years or you can spend eternity. But you're the one that makes up the decision. We can't do that for you. So until you want to be honest, you might as well kiss your ass goodbye.
By the time that comes all about, all the scientific evidence will be into every scientific laboratory in the country and proven and show everything it's going to show.
But I know-
There's going to be her statement. There's going to be Jessica's statement.
It's gonna be mine, right?
Yeah, well, okay, you want to know what your statement is?
Wow.
Us sitting here since, I don't even remember going over, this is about the 18th story you've told us.
Oh, because you guys keep saying that. They're saying this and that. Like
Because that's what's going on.
I did not.
There is no trickery going on here, brother.
Okay, but I would never do that to a little girl.
Okay, then
ever.
tell us what happened. Raping a 10-year-old little girl is horrible.
Of
If that
course.
didn't happen, tell us what happened. Don't lie to us anymore. We're tired of the lie. I don't want to hear the lie anymore.
Okay.
As soon as you start talking the truth, your eyes start welling up. You look down. You look defeated. You're like, God, I just want to tell the truth. But maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe I can lie my way through this.
No,
You
you
can't
ain't lying your
lie
way out
your
of
way
this.
I
through it.
know.
Look at you.
What's
As
going
soon
on, though?
as soon as you want to tell us, your eyes tear up.
Okay.
Be honest. What happened in that apartment last night? And when you start lying again, I'm done. I'm out
Alright.
because I feel bad for you. I feel like you want to get this off your chest. You want to be honest and you want to tell us the truth. But you're so scared because you think it's going to get you in trouble.
And you know what a funny thing about paper is in this case? This is a very high profile case, okay? It's getting a lot of attention, okay? That paper is gonna get floated around NDC, okay? And how do you think that's gonna make your visit there? And when you go on into DOC after court and you're convicted, okay? It ain't good. So what's gonna end up on that piece of paper is all the bullshit lies you've told us, the truth that she's telling us, the truth that Jessica's saying, and then you're gonna be the guy sitting on there with 16 different stories and this lie and this lie and this lie, and everybody's gonna be left to make up their own story about what's said. Or we can cut all the bullshit and you can give us one freaking honest statement so we can put that down on paper for you. Those are your two choices right now. That's your reality, okay?
Well, was Jessica saying I did this too?
Worry about what happened.
Okay, I know. I'm gonna tell you. Her,
Who's her?
Michelle, and Jessica did it.
Did what? And exactly what
Killed
happened?
that little girl. And cut her up and stuff.
Why?
How? When? Where? Those kind of statements ain't gonna fly, man.
Let me tell you when. Okay.
Tell us everything that happened.
Okay. After she attacked Michelle first and scared her, like both of us, like.
Let's
crazy
use
stuff.
names, not she.
Okay, after Jessica started attacking Michelle, trying to kill her and that and stuff, and like everything went all around the house and stuff, and we were trying to fight, and I ended up.
What time?
And I ended up putting out around like I'd say 2. I mean, this is like, you know, the or like no, because it was 12.
Let's start from yesterday.
Let's
How
start
all
when,
this starts.
let's start when the text messages start coming in when you're with Michelle.
Okay.
Because the baby's,
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Victoria
Yes,
is at the neighbors.
She's
Go.
on. She goes, babe, I knew it. Look, I knew your cousin was gonna go pick her up. I said, what? And she goes, yeah, well, she's at the neighbors. So I was like, okay, damn it, that sucks. Did you call Jessica? She goes, yeah, I tried calling her. She didn't answer her phone. So yeah, I'll ask over there. And by the time we get there, like right before we get to pull in, like 2 minutes before we get to pull in, that's when Jessica calls or text. You know what I mean? I can't remember, but she called or text. She contacted us and said, yeah, she's here, she's okay. And we're like, all right, cool. So then we go, we get down, and we say everything's okay. Sorry that she did that. You know, everything's all right. Whatever.
So you go, when you say get down, you mean you park, you walk up into the apartment,
Yeah.
you physically see Victoria?
Yep. Perfect.
And Jessica and everybody's good to go,
Yep.
alive, happy,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
All right.
Everything's perfect.
Keep
you know what I
going.
mean? Okay. And then so we just stayed there for a while. We're just sitting there bullshitting and talking here and there, you know, me, Victoria, and this and that. And then we're all talking together. They're smoking cigarettes too, you know what I mean? And I'm in the room.
Who's that? Michelle
and Jessica, yes.
Okay.
And they were smoking cigarettes. I wasn't in the cigarette mood, you know. But then I ended up going and having one with them too, you know. And I was like looking and I asked Jessica like I think 2 or 3 times. And she's like, I'm fine. No. So I was like, okay. And so then after that, you know, like that's when I went to the bathroom because I was drinking, you know what I mean? I haven't bought the vodka but from the Fireball and the other beer. Otherwise I was drinking by my own. And I used the restroom and then I seen Jessica was getting ready. She was straightening her hair in there. And she was like saying downward shit, this and that. And I said, you know what? Why you even have that stuff? That's all. I don't know what the fuck you're doing and why are you doing that and you know what's going on. Oh, I don't care. Just shut up. Whatever. Blah blah blah. And just like being weird. And then after that, she's done getting ready. She gets out of the bathroom because I told her I need the restroom. Okay. And so she leaves the money there, her money that she was trying to give to Michelle. Okay. And
Why was she trying to give her money? Okay.
beats me, man.
Okay.
And that's when Victoria said, Fabian, give me my money from the thing. I said, your money. And I knew it was Jessica's already, so that's why I said, what do you mean, your money?
And who's saying this?
Victoria.
Okay.
So I said, what do you mean? And then she goes, yeah, my money. I said, I know that's not your money. And then like the two, Jessica and her right there, and they kind of got freaked out. I'm like, I don't know why they're acting weird like that, but they were. And I said, you know what, guys, get away. Come here, Victoria. I said, don't lie to me, okay? Please. I said, who told you to say this is your money? I told her. And I said, please, don't worry, just tell me, because I don't know what they're trying to tell you to do that, because you know better. And she goes, Jessica. And then that's when I opened the door and said, all right, I'm gonna take 20 and we're gonna go buy something. I told her. Me and you, we're going I said, here, give her the rest to her, and if she wants to cry about it, then I'm gonna say I took it because you guys had this little girl lie. Okay? That was my idea.
Okay.
And that was my time, that's what I did. So when I went downstairs, they didn't say nothing about me taking the $20 for some reason. And so I said, well, I'm gonna go now, because I wanna drink a little more now, since I sobered up a little bit from being in the house or whatever like that. And I wanted to go get a little olfactory vodka.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I got me that, and I got Victoria a soda. Okay?
So that part's true, going to the giant golf course
Yep.
in Paradise.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so you go back to the apartment.
And you
Go
whose
back
car,
to the-
whose car do you take?
Michelle's.
Okay, the Buick?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we go back, and then she goes up there, you know what I mean? We're talking, and we're just hanging out, and then I go up there. Oh, and then I drink a little bit, okay? And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna go stop by my brother Stevie's real quick and check my brother Stevie, and we'll get
You gonna what?
stop by my brother Stevie's. to get
Okay.
some weed. So she came with me, okay?
Who's she?
Michelle came with me.
Okay.
So we went there and came right back, you know, and that's when I told her, you don't ever talk about the weed or because you know when you're out on a drug dealer, that's not good to do. I never said kill or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so we got back home, and
How far does Stevie live?
he lives like not that far away. But I got down and we were talking. My brother Stevie, it was so weird
No.
because he told me
Let's not worry about,
about Jessica. He goes, you know, I told him, yeah, Jessica's staying in our house. He goes, no, you shouldn't have her be staying over there, man. You know, she's bad news. I was like, I know. And even some guy, Cody, said, you know, that he used to know where they used to go out with her sister, Crystal. Yeah, you shouldn't have her there, man. I was like, yeah, I know she's going to be gone tomorrow. And I know we shouldn't have her there, but it's fine. So I stayed there for like, let's say we were gone for like 30, maybe 40 minutes, okay?
Round trip, or that's
Round trip.
that's 30 minutes at Stevie's?
Yes, 30 minutes round trip, you know,
Okay.
like, 40 minutes round trip there and back and staying at Stevie's, okay?
okay.
So when we get back, that's when we were right there in the car. We pull up and we see Jessica walking down, you know what I mean, with the little girl.
Victoria.
Yes.
Not a little girl.
Victoria. Yes.
She has a name.
Yes, Victoria.
Okay.
And she just turns around, all weird, and starts walking back up. And I said, hey, come here. What's going on? What happened? You know, and like Michelle even was like, didn't say nothing. I only said something, you know. She was just like all stuck and all like, well, she's all, maybe, what the heck? She's all, I wonder if Victoria's okay. I said, what? Why would you even say that? I was thinking in my head, okay? And so I said, well, you know what, let's get down and see what's wrong with the problem. Maybe she's just being cranky because we left again and didn't take her with us or whatever to watch the baby, you know. But we didn't think nothing of it because, like I said again, Victoria wasn't mad or didn't feel uncomfortable with Jessica, okay? We didn't say nothing like that. So then, like I said, about a minute later, after she went up, we went up, okay? So it wasn't that far. That's probably why the neighbor got that part, thinking, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The neighbors got what part?
Thinking that, because I got mixed up about listening to the music. Because now I remember, yes, we didn't take that much
It was a
longer.
very short time.
Yes, that's
is
probably
what
why the
you're
neighbor
saying.
said, yeah, but we didn't go straight behind right in the door shot and see
Yeah,
what she
okay,
did.
we got
Short
you.
time.
We got
Okay.
you.
And so when we go in there, I guess Jessica's on the balcony. I go, where's Jessica? And I go, I don't know. She goes, so Michelle goes to the balcony and sees Jessica, and she's like waiting in the corner on a chair. And I didn't think nothing of even asking or looking on Victoria, you know what I mean? Because I was just thinking in my head, maybe she just laid her back down. But then that's when she went out there to see what Jessica was doing, and that's when she saw Jessica was Victoria. She goes, I laid her back down in the room. She goes, oh, she's sleeping or what? She goes, yeah. So that's when we got comfortable getting in the house, and, you know, I didn't think nothing of it, okay? And so I go back into the room where you sit there, I lay down, I get comfortable, okay?
Which room is this?
Our room, mine and Michelle's.
Master bedroom?
Yes, and I get comfortable, okay? And I put my red shirt on that little sentry little thing, and my pants, you know, right there, and I'm in my shorts and my socks, okay, and we get comfy, and I go to the bathroom, I take 2 toes of weed. I go back to the bed, you know, and we start getting comfy, and then we start like touching and feeling into it. Me and her did stuff, okay?
Okay.
And then,
And that's when you say her, Michelle?
yeah, no, me and Michelle.
Yeah, you and Michelle.
Yes.
Sorry,
me-
you and Michelle
Yeah,
having
had
intercourse.
intercourse, yeah, whatever. And Jessica was still out there, like, you know, with the TV rolled out and just like acting real shady still, but we just thought she was being a bitch again, you know, so we're like, whatever. And then, so after we did that, that's when she asked, like, she's like, oh, you should ask your cousin for a cigarette. I was like, okay, so that's when I went to the bathroom and used to speak. And I said, all right, well, that's when I told her, I said, you. And she goes, no, you, because I don't want you to get mad at me. I said, mad at you? Like, whatever. So I just could, you know, I said, shower real quick. And she goes, they're right there. So I bent it over and I did it, and I got a cigarette out and I put it back on the table instead of the floor like she had them right there, all stupid. And she came out from the balcony and said, look, right there, they're right there. Because she wanted to stand on the balcony for some reason. It was weird. So I went back to the room, gave her a cigarette, and she goes, you want to come smoke this with me? And I said, no, I didn't want to because I just got done smoking weed, okay? And so she goes out there with Jessica, smokes a cigarette, and while I'm laying down and I'm on Facebook all stoned, you know? Okay? And like I said, it took she took a lot quicker than she usually takes smoking a cigarette with Jessica, no? And I said, she came back in and I said, did you ask her what was wrong again too? After when we first came up, after when she walked up with Victoria and stuff and see what was wrong, what was bad. She goes, yeah, no, she said nothing, it's fine, Victoria's cigarette or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then we just sit there and we just lay there for a while, you know, and then we decided to, you know, all right, let's turn everything off, you know, and just go to bed, okay? And so that's what we did. We did that for like 5 minutes. And I said, you know what? Wait, I turned back on the light and I put the TV on. That's what I did. Okay, exactly. And I said, I'm hungry. My stomach's hurting. I said, I want to eat because of all the alcohol and liquor. And I was like, and I know you're hungry because you haven't eaten all day either. And she goes, yeah, I'm hungry. So I was like, cool. We'll make tacos. I said, since we have the potatoes, and I'll put wood meat, and you know what I mean? Like I said, I made the tacos just like I said. I made Jessica 3. I made her 2 with sour cream, and I made me mine 2. Jessica went and got her plate and sat down on the couch and was eating, okay, acting real weird and like kind of staring at the TV, acting like no stare, okay? What it looked like to me because I was making the food, I was in my mind. And then that's when I asked her, do you want sour cream, do you want anything? And I was like, oh yeah, sour cream, I love sour cream. That's what she said, and so I made her 2. How many do you want? She wants 2, I made her. She went to the room right away. Everything was already almost already pre-made, okay? So I made my tacos real quick right away, got the pan and put the rest of the leftovers in there and put the tortillas on top of it and let it cool to the side. Rinsed off the pan, rinsed off the knife, okay? And then put it in the dishwasher, you know? And then I didn't wash them because the dishwasher does, I just like to rinse them off so I clean them better. And so then I walked to the room and, you know, Jessica's still there like all in a daze, you know, eating on her last taco or whatever she was doing. And Michelle's already in there eating, and so I sit down and I start eating too. And I was like, you know what, I can only handle one. I waited too long. I was like, you know, when you wait too long, this is exactly what I told you. You know, when you wait too long, and you know, you can't eat, you know what I mean? But you're hungry and you can only eat so little. She goes, yeah, I know that, and this and that. And then, so whatever, long story short, I said, well, I'm gonna save mine, so I went to go put mine in the fridge. And she said, oh yeah, me too. She said the same thing. It was weird. To me, anyways, okay? Because and then I go back and into the room, and I put away, well, when I went back after the taco, that's when I put the food away. That way I just for cooling and stuff, you know, because it was already cool enough, so. And then when I go back in there, and that's when we decided to go to bed, okay? To finally lay down, you know what I mean, after that, you know. I said, it's not much here, let's just go to bed, you know. Finally, I could go to bed, and I said, and I don't know why she's going to bed. I kept mentioning Jessica, what the heck's wrong with her? And I kept saying, because they usually talk more than me and Jessica, for some reason. Even though she's my cousin, they usually talk a lot more, you know what I mean? So, this is what I was thinking. I was like, you know, what the heck, whatever, you know, let's just go to bed, and she's just probably mad, you know, because she probably can't stay, because she can't stay here, we don't like her staying here, and we just got cold feet with her staying here, because of the way she, you know what I mean? And so then we start to lay down, and like, we got real comfortable, we hugged, you know what I mean, we're already like all spooned up and laying down in the bed, okay? And I remember just like, I don't even remember dozing off, okay? Because that's how tired we were already, you know? So I just remember Jessica coming in the room. And I thought Michelle was asleep too, because she was laying right by me, and we were just like this, you know, we're comfortable. And I didn't see her move or hear her move, she didn't say nothing, so we were laying down, and then all of a sudden I see the door, like, you know, I kind of hear the door open, and Jessica like, hey, give me you guys' phones. I said, what? You know, like kind of cranky, you know, like trying to look, and I said, well, I'll give you the phones. She said, yeah, give me your phones. And she goes, and then so I like handed it to her all stupid for some reason, because I thought, you know, I didn't know what she was up to. I really didn't. And Michelle did the same thing. And I was like, what? So she grabbed the phone, she goes, all right, now, you gonna say a prayer? And I was like, what? And it's giving me goosebumps, because this is how, you know what I mean? It happened. And so she goes, and do you believe in God? And I was like, Jessica, you're stupid when she said about prayer. And then like Michelle had said at the end, and then when she said, you guys believe in God, that's when Michelle took the words out of my mouth before I got to say it too, you know? I said, yes, of course we believe in God, what do you mean, you know what I mean? And then when she said that, she goes, you're a first aid. And that's when she started wailing on her on it with the fucking iron, okay? And I couldn't believe it. I jumped up real quick and screamed my loudest, and I didn't, like, I was, help, and like I said, I didn't even hear Victoria or nothing. We weren't even thinking about Victoria, because I didn't think nothing of it, because that situation right there at that time, I mean, your mind's everywhere.
So let me fill in the blanks. You guys fight with her, you're able to get out of the apartment, she's able to get out of the apartment, you call the police, blah, 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 right?
Yes.
Wow. About 5 minutes ago, you just told me you're gonna tell me the truth. So guess what?
No, hold on.
This is the
I'm not
same-
done yet, though. I'm not
No,
done.
this is the same story you
Yeah.
already told
What I'm
us.
telling you, if what do you think about this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say.
What do you mean, what do we
What do
think
I
about
think?
this?
No, look.
We think you're full of
You
shit.
just said those. You just said Jessica and Michelle
Killed her.
killed Victoria.
I said, I think they did.
No.
No.
I
Okay.
think,
Kiss your ass.
no, I'm saying I think
Do you want it?
can you guys
No,
please? I
no.
think this is what happened.
I'm
No,
tired of hearing the same story.
This isn't. I think.
What I'm saying is, this is what,
There's a-
I know that I was trying to stop it. Jessica was trying to kill her, and we were trying to stop it. I was, okay? I was
You tell us now she's trying to kill Michelle, is what you told us.
She was
earlier.
trying, yes. And I was
I
like, whoa.
don't care about that part.
I understand.
care about Victoria's
I know,
homicide.
Listen, and see, none of us were really thinking about Victoria, because I was like, whoa.
She's
I
already
gotta-
dead.
She's dead before you eat the tacos.
But we didn't.
She's
I
dead
didn't know
and chopped
that.
up.
Yes, you did. Because you assisted in it, Michelle assisted in it, and Jessica.
Michelle assisted didn't. Well, how if we're eating tacos? We didn't know that.
Because
Okay.
stand up.
Really, guys? You guys ain't
Put your hands on top of your head.
When,
Put your
Well,
hands
I'm
on.
trying to
Put your hands on top of your head.
That's crazy.
Turn around.
Okay, what do you mean?
Interlace your fingers.
I'm trying to say, well, what about when they're alone in there? If Jessica threatened her, they're trying to say that she threatened me.
Start walking. Turn to
Jessica
the right.
threatened me,
Turn
but
to
she
the
didn't
right.
threaten me about helping her.
Turn to the right.
I'm telling you about the truth.
Turn up.